You know what it is. Back again with another video. Back up in here for another reaction. It is your boy Brian, aka Ibrahim, aka whatever you want to call me. We're back in here to react to what really happened to BET, uncovering its startling downfall. This is a video from KB Goes Live. If you get a chance, go check out his channel. And without further ado, let's get into it.
30 years ago, BET emerged as the first and only TV channel that catered to black audiences.
That's a fact.
It's become a fixture on cable TV, recognized for notable award shows and original shows like Comedy and Teen Summit. However, it's also faced criticism for its low-quality production and negative portrayal of the black community. Over the last 3 decades, BET has experienced both controversy and success. Founder Robert Johnson has defended the channel against critics, asserting
that's
that
the problem.
A small elite group is ever dissatisfied with the programming. However, with free content on YouTube and a growing range of on-demand TV apps, BET is gradually losing its appeal among its core audience. It
didn't just start losing its appeal. It's been losing its appeal since Robert, aka Bob Johnson, sold the company to I can't remember who he sold it. I think he sold it to Viacom, I believe. So ever since he sold the company, it's been downhill ever since. The programming digressed from what it was, and it went somewhere where it shouldn't have. You know, we lost Rap City, we lost 106 in Park, we lost a lot of things that were good about BET.
BET will still exist in 10 years or resemble its former self remains uncertain, making the investigation of its history even more intriguing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the rise and fall of BET. So without further ado, let's go. The idea for BET came to Robert Johnson, the channel's founder and longtime CEO, after sharing a taxi ride with a stranger. The conversation that they had led to the idea of a TV channel that was specifically made for African Americans. Born in 1946 in Hickory, Mississippi, Johnson was the 9th of 10 children. His parents, a school teacher and a farmer, moved his family to Freeport, Illinois during his childhood. Johnson decided to attend college one day while he was sitting in an all-white English class during high school. The teacher asked, "How many of you are going to college?" Johnson felt too embarrassed not to raise his hand when every other student did. Despite his academic success, he initially planned to go to work after high school, just like the rest of his siblings. However, he encouraged
pick up a trade,
to apply at the University of Illinois. Johnson was accepted into college, making him the first in his family to have that opportunity. He vowed to always make the most of the opportunities that came his way when surrounded by the right people at the right time. During college, Johnson considered pursuing a teaching degree or joining the Foreign Service to eventually become an ambassador. This led him to Princeton University, where he studied international affairs. He also joined the well-known African
Ivy League,
Kappa Alpha Psi, which emphasizes the importance of high achievement in college and life. Johnson entered the cable industry quite unexpectedly. After spending a few years in DC, he met a woman at a party who persuaded him to try working as a cable TV lobbyist. Despite knowing nothing about cable TV, Johnson followed her advice, applied, and landed a job as vice president of cable TV at the National Cable Television Association.
That's interesting.
In 1976, Johnson had shifted from considering a career in teaching to focusing on wealth accumulation. His main responsibility at the NCTA was to lobby Congress to lift restrictions on cable networks like the newly established HBO.
It's almost kind of like, if y'all have ever watched that movie is it Bamboozled? It's almost kind of like that story if you think about it. It's a guy who's head of a cable, what is it, a cable network and everything like that, and he's in charge of putting together programming. The story is almost kind of the same, except for like a few things, you know, a few differences. Almost kind of the same thing. That's it. Wow, man. Up until this point, Robert Johnson is pretty smart, you know, Ivy League school. You know, so far so good.
HBO and the Movie Channel. As he made a name for himself, Johnson worked closely with the cable network entrepreneurs and executives in the industry, acquiring knowledge about cable technology, marketing, budgeting, and programming. During this time, he began contemplating starting his own business. As the cable industry expanded, executives sought original programming ideas to compete with traditional broadcast networks. During this time, Johnson noticed a growing overlook of black audiences eager for representation. At the 1979 NCTA convention, Johnson, who was still vice president, ran into Bob Rosencrantz near the men's room at the Las Vegas Hilton. Rosencrantz, the vice president of the United Artists of Columbia Cablevision division, had some unused TV spots on one of his 3 cable channels. Johnson requested 2 hours of programming on one channel for Friday nights to showcase black content. Rosencrantz immediately embraced the idea, hoping it would attract more subscribers to his channels. On August 8, 1979, Robert Johnson announced the establishment of Black Entertainment Network, or BET, with plans to launch the network in January of that year. Johnson resigned from his job and secured a $15,000 loan to cover the network's initial operating costs. Initially, BET aired for 2 hours every Friday night as a programming block on the Madison Square Garden Sports Network, which later became the USA Network. BET transitioned to a 24-hour operation in October of 1984. In 1991, Johnson took the company public, making BET the first black-controlled company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Building revenue for BET was a challenging task. The channel struggled financially in its first 6 years, in part because it received one of the lowest monthly subscriber fees in the cable industry. Local cable franchises pay network these fees based on their ratings and potential to attract new customers. BET earned a mere 2 cents per subscriber, while major networks like
2 cents.
USA and PBS received 15 to 20 cents.
Jeez.
Attributed BET's difficulties partly to racial bias, as the industry undervalued black viewers watch 50% more television than white viewers.
Wasn't nobody. Let's just cop it up to what it is. Nobody. It wasn't that many black people with cable. That's number one. Number two, it was mostly white people with cable, and ain't no white person watching black entertainment television. That's just the truth.
Viewers and had significantly more disposable income and were particularly more brand loyal to the advertisers that targeted them. Eventually, Johnson transformed BET into the largest minority cable channel in the United States, reaching 66 million households monthly. He focused on keeping costs low and finding affordable ways to offer programming. Instead of investing in costly original content, Johnson primarily aired pre-existing music videos and sitcom reruns.
Which is true.
Accusing him of setting the bar too low. Despite the emphasis on cost efficiency, BET's programming covered a diverse array of topics such as comedy, news, current affairs, and music videos. In 1998, BET introduced a news program, BET News, featuring Ed Gordon as its news anchor. Gordon later hosted additional shows and specials on the network, including Black Men Speak Out, the aftermath of the 1992 Los Angeles riots, and the recurring interview show Conversations with Ed Gordon. Gordon became one of the network's most prominent anchors for years to come. In 1996, BET introduced a news talk show, BET Tonight, hosted by Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley.
On BET included Teen Summit, which began in 1989 as a platform for young people to discuss relevant topics, and Comic View, which was a stand-up comedy series that started in 1992. BET also broadcasted several successful award shows, such as the BET Awards, which started in 2001 and has since become a major annual event in black entertainment. Although BET has achieved success, it has also faced criticism for its programming choices and allegations of promoting negative stereotypes about black people. To address these concerns, BET has worked to enhance its image and broaden its programming by introducing new shows and specials that promote positive portrayals of black people and culture. As the cable TV landscape evolves, the future of BET and similar channels still remain uncertain. Teen Summit was a talk show where teens from across the country discussed real-life topics. The show often featured performances from popular acts at the time, such as Tupac, Xscape, The Fugees, and Destiny's Child. The show was praised for providing content that resonated with black youth. Uncut and Uncensored was a notorious late-night music video program known for playing video.
Oh boy. BET Uncut. Listen, all you youngers, all you younger kids, man. BET Uncut was something. Yeah. We'll just go look it up. Just go look it up. Just go look up what it was. What it was, man. Just go look it up. It's crazy. Anyways.
Those deemed too risque for daytime television.
Definitely.
2000 to 2006, the show garnered significant controversy for airing some of hip-hop's most sexually explicit content. Video Soul, which first aired on June 26, 1981, was initially a half-hour program created in response to MTV's reluctance to feature videos by African-American artists. Virgil Hemphill, also known as Reverend Alvarado, was the show's original host. Later, Donnie Simpson became the series' most well-known VJ, joining a few years after his debut. Comic View, a comedy showcase that aired from 1992 to 8, featured a rotating cast of hosts, including Cedric the Entertainer and Ricky Smiley. This show introduced many future big-name comedians to audiences way before they made it to network television or a big screen. 106 in Park, which premiered in 2000, was a video countdown show initially hosted by then unknowns AJ and Free. Airing Monday through Friday for 14 years, it became BET's highest-rated program.
I just don't understand why they never tried to
took its name from the initial studio.
Well, they tried to bring it back, but
Street and Park Avenue. Over the years,
I don't know, man.
Aired more than 3,000 episodes of various series, contributing to the success of many hip-hop and R&B stars who frequently appeared on the top 10 list. College Hill, a reality show between 2004 and 2009.
Such a great show.
They showcased the lives of 10 students.
Man, they really had good programming, dog.
The
Like,
show captured parties, fights, and campus life at institutions such as Southern University, Langston University, Virginia State, and the University of the Virgin Islands. Rip the Runway, which premiered in 2005, is an annual fashion and music event hosted by different celebrities each year, including Nicki Minaj, Eva Pickford, and Boris Kojo. The show celebrates cutting-edge designers alongside innovative hip-hop and R&B artists. Sunday's Best, a gospel music competition, aims to discover the best undiscovered.
Man, they really had the programming.
Featuring judges like Erica Campbell, Kelly Price, and Jonathan McReynolds, the show is backed by some of the genre's biggest stars. The BET Honors has continued to celebrate the lives and accomplishments of African-American trailblazers. Established in 2008, this event takes place every February during Black History Month. Another annual event, Black Girls Rock has been showcasing the achievement of black women in entertainment, medicine, business, philanthropy, and other fields since 2007. Notable honorees include actress Pam Grier, activist Angela Davis, singer and songwriter Alicia Keys, icon Cicely Tyson, and ballerina Misty Copeland. In 1998, Robert Johnson took BET private and later sold it to the media titan Viacom in 2001 for a staggering $3 billion. This deal included
he sold it in 2001
stock and turned Johnson into the first African-American billionaire. Johnson remained CEO until 2006. In 2002, BET announced the cancellation of lead story BET Tonight with Ed Gordon. Later in 2014, Teen Summit and 106 in Park also ended due to
so crazy
for music video and countdown shows on cable television. BET introduced 2 sitcoms from Tyler Perry Studios to its lineup in 2020. While the network has transitioned away from
very questionable
videos, which were often criticized for their explicit nature and content, several public figures like rap group Public Enemy, filmmaker Spike Lee, and cartoonist Aaron McGruder had previously protested aspects of BET's programming. In its prime, BET consistently offered insight.
You know what? Hold on. Go back. These 3 people have really questioned the motive of BET after Robert Johnson sold it. I believe the Bamboozled movie was about BET. Aaron McGruder made a specific episode about BET, and it got blocked. I never saw it on air on television, but it's like somewhere on YouTube. You could find it. And I believe it was, I don't know if it was just Chuck D or if it was both Flavor Flav and Chuck D, but I've heard rumblings from Public Enemy. So it makes a lot of sense to see what was so wholesome and built up for black people and all the positive things that came from putting out all these great shows and everything like that, for it to just crumble, disintegrate, for them to take away what was so good about BET and turn it into whatever it is now. You know, I mean, I believe BET is like gonna be sold again. I believe they say that Tyler Perry wants to buy BET. He's one of the runners to purchase BET. I believe Diddy is another person who wants to purchase BET. Yeah, man, it's whoever controls BET, please put back on some more positive shows, because whatever it's doing now, it ain't it now, you know?
Aaron McGruder had previously protested aspects of BET's programming. In its prime, BET consistently offered insight into crucial community issues through daily news shows and special programs. However, nowadays, with 90% of the content on BET consisting of sitcoms or outdated movies, there seems to be little to no reason to watch the channel. While BET occasionally does something positive, such moments are increasingly rare. The network needs a fresh approach, as endless reruns have become tiresome, and there's more to the black community than the party and struggle stories featured in their movies. If BET doesn't incorporate some more meaningful content into their lineup,
it's like they took half of what Robert Johnson did and ran with that, and the other half with the original programming, and just said, hell nah, we're not doing that positive-ish over here, you know? Oops. It's my bad. I don't know why I did that.
Work thriving in the long run. The channel's vitality is already dwindling. What's your opinion? Do you plan on watching BET in the near future? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, that's it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification.
Well, I can tell you right now. See, that's the Black Entertainment Television episode Boondocks did. He just snuck that in there real quick. But yeah, man, I've always thought of BET in a certain way. So hopefully they get back to the resurgence of what they once were, you know, with whoever decides to take over BET. So that's my thought process.